Namaste, good afternoon. So today I want to talk about the current transits and what's going on in India. I know it's a popular topic, and I just want to go over some really interesting findings I've noticed. So first of all, I want to invoke Lord Ganesh so that we may give right information and unbiased information. Vakratanda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarva Kareshu Sarvada. May Goddess Saraswati protect our speech and inspire positive outcomes for the world. So first of all, let's take a look at India's chart. So I'm using Devaguru. So here in the chart, we can see there is a cluster of planets in Cancer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 planets in Cancer in the third house, which is often to do with neighbors, right? And we know there's a conflict going on with their neighbor, an occupied territory. So when we look at the chart here of India, why is this happening right now? Well, first of all, the moon of India is in Pushya. And Pushya is about nourishment. It's about mother too, because it's the fourth house, but it's also motherland, right? And we also have Mercury in Pushya Nakshatra. And the other two nakshatras of Cancer that are occupied are Shukra is in Ashlesha and Shani is in Ashlesha. Those are nakshatras of Mercury. We also have Surya in Ashlesha. Now, what do we know about Ashlesha? Classical texts will tell you Ashlesha has to do with some type of hypnosis, right? With the eyes, with more physical features. But when we think about Ashlesha, this is about tactical warfare. Okay, because Ashlesha are masters of information gathering. They can work in clandestine operations and succeed because of their ability and mastery over communication, over secrecy, or even more importantly, how is this going to be executed, right? And why and when? We know that India is a country that is predominantly Hindu. All of the land of India was ruled in the past by kings of Bharat, right? This is before the terming of Hindu, right? So this land has a certain belief system, and the belief system integrates science, medicine, technology, and astronomy and astrology. So this is calculated, and this is all the play of Ashlesha, right? So we look at we're going to look here at Drikpanchang at the current transits. And when we look at the chart, even the chart right now that we're going over, the ascendant is Mercury ruled Gemini. So it's about communication. It's about the skill that is being used here. Now, we have Surya and Chandra in Pushkar Navamsha. We also have this Guru Shukra Parivartan happening. And the most important thing I want to draw your attention to is Rahu and Ketu in 0 degrees. Now, this is not only happening today, but in a few days, we're going to have several planets in ending signs. We have Shukra crossing the ecliptic, May 8th. We have Surya entering Kritika, Mangal entering Ashlesha. So Mongol entering Ashlesha. Now we go back to India's chart here, and what do we have in Ashlesha? We have Surya, we have Shukra and Shani. Now what's interesting about this is recently I gave a talk about Shukra, and Shukra is a planet also related to warfare, because Shukracharya in our, belief system of Bharat, we know Shukracharya was a master of warfare and arts. And art and warfare are one and the same, because it takes a certain type of skill, training, mental acuity to be able to practice these arts effectively, and also become a skilled warrior. So this is Shukra. So we have Shukra here in Ashlesha and Shani in Ashlesha, and Shukra and Shani are planetary friends. Okay, Shukra, Shani, and Mercury all have a relationship, synergistic relationship here. And we know right now in transit that, let's go back to Mars. Where is Mars? Mars is in the sign of Moon, Cancer. Okay, so, and Chandra is very close by. We have Mangal is in Pushya Nakshatra. So Mangal is transiting over this third house of India. Okay, so Mangal is activating. Now, why did this happen again? We look at India's birth chart in transit. If we look at what's been happening with Mars, Mars has been going from second house to third house of the Indian chart, with the Taurus ascendant, with the ascendant Lord Venus here, right? So this activation here is happening for India. We also see that Rahu and Ketu are in ascendant and seventh house. And Ketu, when it comes to, war and these types of brutal happenings, Ketu does have a role here. Because Ketu is actually, if we look at the classical text and we look at the stotrams about the grahas, Ketu is not only called a Rudra once, but more than once. So we know that Ketu's energy is a very detaching, very brutal, very instantaneous blow. So with this, I just wanted to share some ways that we can look at charts and see, what's happening, and also get a good message out of it too. Because when we look at what's going on in transit, a lot of planets having this, sun being in its own, moon being in a Pushkar Navamsha, right? Planets being in a friendly relationship with each other oftentimes can give a better outcome when it comes to sparing lives of innocent people. So when you conduct activities and you use astrology and you use information, you understand how to execute operations where the intelligence is being applied in a way to change things, send a message, but also, get a favorable outcome for your intended activity. So with that, I hope that, this short study of planetary transits gives you some insight into how Jyotish is used when it comes to, military operations.